Good morning. It's Monday, November 10th. I'm Miriam Wasiljevic. The Minister of Indigenous Services Canada says they're planning to reform Jordan's Principle once the federal budget is passed. When asked if the reform would address gaps in NWT education funding, Minister of Indigenous Services Mandy Galmasti said this will be addressed in consultation with service users. The minister also said she would like to move quickly on the reform, committing to an ambitious deadline that is by year end. Since the changes were announced last February, more than 200 positions in schools across the territory have been lost or jeopardized. Burgundy Diamond Mines, owner of Acadie Mine, has pledged a partial payment to laid-off workers after missing the scheduled payout day on November 6th. Last week, Burgundy told workers there would be a delay to the severance payments. The financially troubled company is starting to fall behind on other obligations at Acadie. Regulatory records show Burgundy is asking for deadlines to be extended, including a closure and reclamation plan. An NWT government inspector says De Beers and Nuna Logistics have completed the turnaround of a winter road camp, previously described as being in disarray. Earlier in the summer, an inspector said the Margaret Lake camp was littered with signs of spills, among other concerns. De Beers launched an internal investigation, resulting in the cleanup. The site is located on a winter road, and the inspector said conditions are expected to remain in excellent shape through the upcoming winter season. The NWT legislature published a new policy setting out when public funds can cover outside legal costs for individual MLAs. The policy was tabled at the end of October and says the legislature's law clerk may tell MLAs or their staff they should be represented by outside counsel rather than in-house legal services. When that occurs, the MLA can ask for legal fees to be reimbursed. Any request for reimbursement has to be approved by the Board of Management. A spokesperson for the Legislative Assembly said the new policy ties together guidelines that were previously found in 3 different documents. A highly exceptional case has been scrutinized by the NWT court for a man on house arrest for sexual assault. He will not face jail time for breaching court-ordered conditions. Both the man's original sentence and latest court ruling involved a joint submission where the Crown and the defense agree on a desired outcome and present it to a judge. In a written decision issued last week, the NWT Supreme Court Justice said not facing jail time was extremely lenient, but the judge ultimately agreed with the joint submission, adding any further breaches would likely lead to incarceration. For more information on this case, visit CabinRadio.ca. And housing advocates are calling the changes proposed in a report from a committee of regular MLAs transformative. The recommendation was tabled in the legislature last month and urges the GNWT to recognize adequate housing as a human right. It included the possibility of introducing 24-hour shelters in Yellowknife and in other communities. The Yellowknife Women's Society wrote in a press release that investment in transitional and supportive housing will save lives and reduce pressure on emergency systems. Your weather forecast for today: Yellowknife, high of 1 with periods of light snow or rain. Inuvik, -5 with snow. Norman Wells, -5 with periods of snow. Hay River, high of 5 with a chance of rain showers. Fort Smith, 6 with a mix of sun and cloud. And Fort Simpson, 0 with periods of snow mixed with freezing rain.